Hi guys, let's go through the map here that I'm making. This one's for Matt and Kathy. Just a really good way, especially for the gentlemen, to know where they're going on the floor. If you're a very visual learner, some of us have difficulty with directions in the room. And for the man, if he doesn't know where he's going, he's definitely going to forget his figures and not be able to maneuver around the floor. Now for social dancing, we don't ever have a routine, but I find that when you're teaching students, they'll fall into a pattern that they like to dance. And as long as they're flexible and can move out of that, they can work their way around the floor. So a map is not a bad idea for social dancers starting out if it's a dance that needs to travel around the floor. In the Latin dances, the samba and the paso doble have a line of dance. So the other ones don't. So sometimes it can be more difficult to remember all the patterns that you may know on a spot dance, unless you're dancing it a lot. But there's definitely importance of amalgamating the figures, and if it's a social dance, changing those amalgamations. So this is hopefully something that teachers will do. Lady teachers need to do this with their men students. I have sometimes had couples that have been having lessons, but they have no idea how to put their figures together. Where they can't turn to the right, they can only turn to the left, and so they're always overturning things. So as teachers, what we need to do is amalgamate the patterns in a way that they'll move around the floor and teach these different amalgamations and let our students practice them rather than teach a step and teach a step. Otherwise they won't be remembered. So I'm looking right now at the international map that I'm making here for Matt, and so we're moving into the silver. Hopefully this will help to visualize where these patterns are going on the floor. So if it helps you, great. You can always also just write down the steps. Some people like to write them out. If you have a tablet, you can do with your finger your map. But we have research that shows we remember things better when we have more senses involved. For instance, reading a book, turning the pages with your hands. The tactile sense seems to be beneficial for our memory than reading something on a screen. So if you're writing it out, you're doing it on paper, looking at it, and then also writing down the names and where you're turning can be really helpful. I'll also show how that I do this for staging a number, if it's a showcase or something for stage. In the ballroom dances, we use the 4 walls. And if it's a stage or perhaps a showcase that has a front, then we have to stage things. We have to make sure that everything is working towards our audience. So then we have to bend our alignments and put our picture lines to the front and so on. So it helps to draw this out. Here you go, Matt. Here is your second long wall and how you're going to maneuver the corner and go onto the short wall and pick up from the feather step again. So you can see here we do the open impetus coming into the long line of dance, a feather ending to a hover, which is the same as your American style twinkle. We're dancing a weave from promenade, a 3-step to a natural turn, and a hover feather. Then we'll do another hover telemark to promenade, like a twinkle, do the feather ending, dance your open telemark. Your open telemark is 1, 2, 3 of a reverse turn ending in promenade. The open natural turn you also do in American style, and the outside swivel, you're used to doing that in the tango. Then we do the feather ending and the change of direction, picking up from the feather again. From the top is the feather, reverse turn, 3-step, natural weave, 3-step, hover cross, reverse wave, open impetus ending, feather ending, hover telemark to promenade, weave from promenade, 3-step, natural turn, heel pull, hover feather, coming out to the hover telemark to promenade, open telemark, open natural turn, outside swivel, feather ending and change of direction to pick up from the reverse turn. Here's the map with the layout for the silver tango. For Joe, there's 2 walks, Now we're curving those two walks to take the link to where it ends facing line of dance so that your open promenade will move diagonal center. Then we do the open reverse turn with the lady outside with an open finish, the outside swivel and the promenade link into the brush tap, finishing in promenade. Follow a promenade. Your closed promenade will move slightly diagonal wall coming from that figure. Another progressive link, and then your natural twist turn, which is the plan we've been following in bronze. Keep this short wall the same, the closed promenade, the back corte, two walks, progressive link, natural promenade turn with rock turn ending, and you'll be coming out diagonal wall now, the long line of dance. Two walks and progressive link, your new figure, the back open promenade, coming out to an outside swivel. I know this looks a little confusing on here. The outside swivel is taken from 2 steps of the 4-step and is followed by the promenade link. So the outside swivel puts you in promenade, the promenade link puts you in closed, then you'll walk towards diagonal center, do your open reverse turn, this time with a closed finish, 2 walks into the progressive side step reverse turn. There is a left foot rock, but that is part of the figure. We're adding the right foot rock, and then we have a back corte and closed finish, which is also part of the figure. You'll turn the corner with a 4-step, ending to move diagonal wall, or actually the feet will be pointing diagonal wall, but we're moving along the line of dance in closed promenade. Back corte, this is the same as your other short wall. 2 walks, progressive link. Now we'll repeat the natural twist turn. This time we'll be doing a rock turn ending, and we'll be coming out on the new line of dance, which is your first long wall. And then we'll dance the 4-step change. From the 4-step change, we'll do a progressive link, and now you will not need to repeat the 2 walks and progressive link. You'll simply take your link into the open promenade and repeat from the beginning. Here again, a few notes, a few poses. This was an intro to a formation routine. And then I have my different 8s marked out. Going down into, again, more complex formations. Great if you have a whiteboard in your studio and you can just write these out or draw these out on the whiteboard. But when I'm working things out at home, so I use this crutch to help me when I'm trying to work things out at home. I like to be completely prepared when I go to the studio to place choreography, and especially when I have to work something out with a group. You don't need that confusion, and it's certainly idealistic to think everyone will be quiet and just wait until you work things out, but that doesn't happen in the real world. So you need to have your plan made out. So if that helps you, I know it's very helpful to the men. They have to have some way to visualize what their plan is, but I think this is helpful for the ladies also. I feel that the structure of the dance really comes from the man's part. Some people see it differently. They see moving around the lady, and of course we're partnering whatever the lady does, but for me, my structure and direction comes from learning the part of the lead and then seeing what the lady does to fit into that. So any dance that needs to move around the floor, you need to know where the patterns are taking you to have a good solid foundation. And we'll come back later and look at the social dances, what's a good way to train, because of course you have to be ready to change. Much different to dance in a gymnasium or to dance at a wedding or a very small club. But as long as you don't use your silver material in the small space, most of the patterns in bronze that are not what I call extra or showcase type things, and we seem to have a lot of those today, we'll come back and we'll look at the patterns that take you different directions that are useful in a social situation, and then how you can change them from week to week so that you become adept at moving around the floor, using your patterns, avoiding the traffic, and having a good time while you're dancing. This is Matt and Kathy's current waltz with silver patterns. The natural spin turn, of course the natural spin turn includes the 1, 2, 3 of the natural turn. And then we dance the turning lock to end in promenade. Chassé from promenade, 1, 2, 3 of a natural turn and an open impetus turn. A little messy on my writing there. The weave from promenade ending in promenade, we'll dance another chassé. And 1, 2, 3 of a natural turn. If we underturn it, then the hesitation, the heel pull feels a little nicer than if you do it all the way to backing line of dance, because we want to have a little turn there. Then we dance that new group of the double reverse spin with a full turn to the open telemark, the chassé from promenade, and the natural spin turn again to turn the corner. And then we have the reverse corte following the spin turn and the outside spin. 1, 2, 3 of a natural turn, again under turn, so the man is backing diagonal center, dancing an outside change to promenade, a chassé, again, 1, 2, 3 of a natural to the open impetus turn, the weave from promenade followed by the wing. So now your chassé to the right will commence outside partner on the lady's left side. Then we'll do a back whisk to turn the corner and pick up with the chassé from promenade and the natural turn again here. And the studio, probably the spin turn would fit right in there to turn the corner and dance the turning lock, and that will be fine. You probably won't have enough time in the music to do another pass down the first wall, but you'll basically repeat that first wall. So this is our newest amalgamation, where we're incorporating the outside spin and also the wing. And over here the open telemark was also a new figure. This is a little map of a social foxtrot, and I've done it on a rectangular piece of paper as if we have a large ballroom. And just because we're in a large ballroom doesn't mean that we have to do open footwork and so on. If you are in a small wedding space or club space, then all this could be compressed, and you can do all these figures. Sometimes the grapevine isn't the best thing, but on a small floor you can make a grapevine go in a circle. So just for the purpose of amalgamation, to get used to maneuvering the floor, we have the quarter turns, making the W pattern, forward and back, quarter turn right, quarter turn left, repeating. Promenade, I've put 2 promenades back to the quarter turn, and then the promenade pivot in the corner to another promenade. A swing step, sometimes called the sway step, just a series of chassé back and forth. Maybe repeat this twice. Then we're doing the quarter turn left, so that's your back basic, and then doing the forward basic into the grapevine and using the left box or the reverse turn in the corner, and just repeating those figures. And for the social dance, that's actually very, very nice. You can put a twinkle in there if you know the twinkle. I'm not a big fan of the closed twinkle, and it doesn't take any less space than doing the twinkle with the open footwork. So we'll talk a little bit more on another video about this social dance and getting this sort of amalgamation into your body so that you can maneuver around the floor.